Hey, it's Alex with Lover Fighter Writer, and this is going to be a ClosersCopy tutorial for the SEO feature. Now, SEO feature is found right here. If I click here, it opens this. And if this looks familiar, it's because there used to be a feature called Compete that was very similar to this, but I think Nico, the creator of ClosersCopy, kind of reworked it a bit, changed some things, and he decided that SEO was a better name for the feature because that's what it is. It's the SEO feature, and the name Compete was probably just a little bit confusing. So anyways, now it's called SEO and it's found right there. And basically what this is for is it's for looking up similar articles. So you put in a search query or a URL right here. And if you put in a search query, it'll pull up the top results. If you put in a URL, then it will just automatically audit that URL. And you can select your country, your language, and whether you want the top 10 or top 20 results. So I'm just going to go with how to find guest posting opportunities. So this is like a longer tail keyword that I'm looking at. And you can put in short tail keywords, which would be like 1 or 2 words, or you can put in long tail keywords like this. But as we're going to see, Google kind of combines the two a lot more these days. So anyways, you just put in your keyword here, and then you hit this button to search. And it's going to pull up the top 10, because I have 10 selected, results in the United States. So if I'm in Canada, so if I do this Google search, it would probably have slightly different rankings. But this is basically it. So you can see this is a very competitive term. All of these websites that are ranking for it are very reputable websites with very powerful domains and really well-written articles. And at each article, you can select it, which will add it to the audit, or you can click here to open the link to the article, or you can click over here on this little drop-down arrow. And when you do that, it'll open up and show you the outline. So you can see here, this article is 1,500 words, 9,000-ish characters, has 11 headings, and then these are all the headings. So you can see there's an H1, paragraph, 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 paragraph. Here's an H2, here's an H3, and so on. And so up here with these buttons, you can either add the outline, which when I hit that, it will add the outline, which is the headings. So we've got the H1, we've got an H2, we've got some H3s. Let's see, competitor backlinks. Oh, we got an H4, did you know is an H4. We've got an H3, social searches, and so on. So that's what adding outline does. And for now, I'm just going to leave in the H1. And if you hit add content, it will actually add the entire content of the article to your document. And the only thing that I've ever used that for is for reading articles. So like if you find a long article that you want to read and the website has like a ton of ads on it and it just like a bad user experience and you don't want to sit on that annoying website reading the article, then you can just put the link to the article in here and then add the content to your document, and then you can just read it in your nice ClosersCopy dark mode right here. So that's kind of a little hack that you can use there. And so, like I said, you can add the outline, or you can add all the content, or you can go through and use this little plus button to add each of the sections or headings individually. So if I do, this is a paragraph section, if I click here, it'll add that little section. So I'm just going to close this up. And now I'm going to switch over to the audit part. So audit is right here, but before I go there, you can see I have to select 1 to 5 search results. So I'm going to go with the top 4. These are all very reputable kind of SEO focused websites. And then Forbes is number 5, but Forbes is more of a business oriented website that usually has shorter articles. So let's see if I open this. What does it say? Yeah, so it's a little bit shorter than the other one. It's probably shorter than most of them. And they tend to rank for things mostly because they get a lot of backlinks and they get a lot of social shares, less because of the length and quality of their articles. So I'm going to add Ahrefs as my 5th one instead, because I know that Ahrefs is a really reputable SEO website and that they always have really good quality articles. So I want to know, I want to audit them. So once I've selected my 5, or you can do anywhere from 1 to 5 to audit, then you just click on Audit over here. And this is going to take a minute because it's going to analyze a bunch of things about the document. Mostly, it's going to look at which keywords are being used, both individually and in combinations. So you'll kind of see that come up here in just a minute. Usually it doesn't take very long, but because I'm auditing 5 fairly long articles, it might take like a minute. And it's a little bit, it could be a little bit confusing at first if you don't know what you're looking for. But because I've used this tool before and because I use other tools that do similar things, it was pretty easy for me to figure it out. And so I'm just going to kind of quickly walk you through how all this works here. Starting at the top left, we have history, and history is just it shows the last 5 audits that you've done in this particular document, and you can recover the last 5 audits, so that's pretty useful. If you did an audit yesterday and you want to get it back, then you can just come in here and hit recover. And you can also delete an audit in here if you want to have a different one saved in your history. So that's what that's for. And then if we go to keywords, you can actually add your own keywords here. So you can see down here, we've got all the 1-word keywords, all the 2-word keywords, all the 3-word keywords, and all the 4-word keywords. I can turn this on, I think, yep. And then down here we have the sources that are being audited. So if there's any keywords that I want to include in my article that are not included here, then I can add them right here just by clicking on keywords, and I can do something like Alex the SEO, I don't know, and then just colon, and then the number of times that I want it to be used, and I can hit add, and then it's going to refresh, and you can see right here it has my keywords and Alex the SEO. And so this would be really useful if I had like a team that was writing for me in ClosersCopy, and I was setting up the documents, and I was setting up the audits and the outlines, and then I wanted someone else to write it for me. Then this would be handy, because then I could add keywords in here that I want them to use, and they would know to do that. And then if we click on stats, this pulls up a little bit more information, and it's just going to pop up in a dialog right here. And so you can see it has stats, questions, and statements. So these are just, it's basically scanning the article, and for stats, it's looking for phrases that have a statistic, so like a number with a percentage sign next to it. So you can see these are all examples of statistics mentioned in Backlinko's article. Then if we go to questions, it's looking for sentences that end with a question mark. So you can see there's a few examples from each of the articles in here, and you can also, again, you can just use the plus button to add them. So you can see that just pops up right there. And then statements, it's the same thing. These are just kind of statements that you can go through and add if you want to have something similar in your article. We can close that. I'm just going to get rid of this. And then the last one here is planner. And this is kind of like just a different way of looking at the same tool that I had in search. So it's where you can kind of go through and pick out any subheadings or headings that you want to include in your article that are used in others. And whenever you're borrowing someone else's subheadings, I always recommend changing them at least a little bit, unless it's very generic. So for example, if you like the looks of like 7 ways to find guest blogging opportunities, I wouldn't recommend using that exact title or something, because you'd want to have something at least a little bit different. But for something like how to find guest blogging opportunities, that's extremely generic, and that's just like a how-to. So you could use that exact thing if you wanted to. And then with this, so you can just go through each of the, you can scroll sideways here to look at all of them. and then you can just kind of go through and click on any that you want. So I'll just, let's see, we'll take Google search operators and this, take this H1, and we'll take this H1, and then you just add the outline and it adds them right in there. And I'm actually going to keep these. So now I have 3 of the titles right there. And so that's how the planner works. It's basically just like, it's just a different way of looking at the headings and adding the outlines than what you saw in search. So whichever one you prefer, you can use. And then this button right here is just to download the keywords. So if I were to click on that, I'm not going to click on it right now. But basically you click that and you can download a text file, a .txt file to your hard drive, and it just contains all of the keywords in comma separated value. So it looks like this. It's just all the keywords from single keywords up to 4-word keywords, all with commas in between. So you can use that as you see fit if you have like another software that you want to upload it to. And then so the final part of this tool is the using, or I guess the rating of your keyword usage. So you can see here it's telling me how many words I have, and then this is kind of like the recommended average length of the articles. It's saying that somewhere between 2,400 words and 2,900 words would be an ideal length for the article based on what the other articles do. And currently I have 23 words. Headings, it's the same thing. I currently have 3 headings, and it's saying that the ideal number of headings is 14 to 16. Paragraphs, I have 3. It's looking for at least 161 paragraphs. And images, I have 0, and it's looking for 22 to 26 images. So that can give you a good idea of like how long the content should be, how it should be broken up, how many images it wants, and all that. And then when you come down here to the actual keywords, first of all, you can organize them by heat or by occurrences. So occurrences is like, it's literally just the ones that are used the most are at the top, and the ones that are used the least are at the bottom of each section. And then with heat, it's more about, I don't know exactly what heat means, but I would suspect that it's kind of a judgment of which ones are most important to include. Just for example, quality, it's only asking for 6 to 9 usages of quality, which is significantly less than the 30 to 40 usages of post that it's asking for. However, it seems to be suggesting that making sure that you get in at least a couple mentions of quality is very important, which is why it has the fire emoji next to it there. And then the other thing that you can do here is you can kind of turn off entire sections or individual keywords. So if I decide that I don't want to be tracking the 3-word keywords, I can just hit this right here and disable all of them. And I can hit the same button to turn them back on. And then similarly with individual keywords, you can hit the little light button and it turns off, and that will turn it back on. And then you can see right here, this just gives you like a score of your overall content score based on how many keywords you're using and how much content there is in general and the type of content. And so that's pretty much it. And you can see, so right now I have like a very low score, but it is noticing that I do have some of the keywords used. And then if we look down here, you can see like I have 1 use of opportunities, I have 3 uses of blogging, and those will go up and down as I add or remove words. So that is pretty much how you use all the different features of this tool. I don't think I left anything out. And just to do a quick little demonstration of it. So what I've done here, I'm just gonna go back to search for a second. So I've added the titles. I've got this title, guest blogging for SEO, 15 smart ways to find guest posting opportunities. So basically what I can see from this, just from taking a quick look at it, is that even though I searched for this long tail keyword, none of the top results are specifically targeting that exact long tail keyword. Instead, the ranking articles are about how to how to find guest posting opportunities, but none of them are using that exact keyword. So you can see this one is using 7 ways to find guest blogging opportunities in 2020. So that's actually a really good one, because generally when you're targeting how-to keywords, it's often better to use a number ways to do something approach, because articles with numbers and list-based articles tend to get better click-through rates, and they also tend to be a little bit more interesting and a little bit easier to read, just because of the way they're broken up into different ideas. So that's a really good one. And then we have 15 smart ways to find guest posting opportunities. That's another really good title. Then we have from Neil Patel, The Ultimate Guide to Guest Blogging, and Guest Blogging, The Definitive Guide, and Guest Blogging for SEO, How to Build High Quality Links at Scale. So I'm going to go back to Audit here. But so basically what I'm kind of seeing from this is that I want to start my title. I'm just going to put these down here. I'm going to come back up here. So we have 7 ways and 15 ways. So I think I'm going to do maybe 9 ways for mine. I can always change that later if I don't have that many or if I have more, but I'm just going to start with that idea. 9 ways to find guest. And so it seems like basically Google is treating the term guest blogging and guest posting as if they're one and the same for the purpose of this search. So it probably doesn't matter too much. I could do a little bit deeper analysis on that if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to go with blogging because that's more of a topical word than guest posting. And so we'll say 9 ways to find guest blogging opportunities. Then we could add something to that to make it a little bit more interesting, or we could do something with a bracket like full guide 2022. Or actually, since it's almost 2023, I could just go 2023, so I don't have to go back and change that later. So that's going to be my working title for now. So I'll just erase these ones and come back here, change this to paragraph. So now I'm ready to write. And now I'm going to go back to Audit, and you can see my score has dropped a little bit because I'm no longer covering as many keywords. And then from here, I could go to the planner and just say like, okay, what kind of H2s do I want? I definitely want this one. I don't see any I want there. With the Neil Patel article, it looks like it's failing to pull in the tags for some reason. It could be something to do with the code on the website being a little bit difficult to read. That can happen sometimes, but you can see it's not happening a lot, which is nice. Find guest post targets. So here we have some different H2s. All right, I don't want to steal too many of these, so I'm just going to add that one for now. And so now I've got my H2s, and I could add any subheadings that I wanted, or I can start using my frameworks and workflows. So the next thing I would do probably is just move this down because I need a little intro here. Then I would come to my blog post workflow, and let's see, blogs and SEO. And I have my workflow, which is available in the community library. And so I already have my headline, so I can skip this one. Then if I come here, then I can use this tool to get subheadings suggested based on my heading. So I'm just going to put this in here and say write for me. And it's going to just suggest some more ideas for H2s. You can see I've got all these, and I can just add them easily down here if I want. Something like that, and then I can take any of those that I want and delete any that I don't want. And then I would come here to step 3, and again I would put this blog title in here and say write for me, and it's going to write a little intro for this blog, and then I can come back to SEO, and you can see I can still see that workflows is working, and I can come back here and look at this, do whatever I want, and then I can go back to workflows, and I've got this, and I can just add this in, and I just need to remove this little thing and this little thing. And now I've already got a nice intro that I'm working on. Go back to SEO. You can see we're up to 3 out of 100 for the topic score, and you can see some of these are starting to light up already because I'm using enough of the keywords that it's asking for that it's reaching the ideal number. All right, so I think that is everything. I'm pretty sure I covered all the different aspects of this tool, and I even threw a little bonus tutorial at the end to kind of show you how to get started using workflows and frameworks. Again, you can use my workflows and frameworks. They're available in the community library for free, and there's also lots of other good ones, or you can make your own. I've got videos on how to do that. But that's going to be the end of this one. So leave me a comment if you found this helpful, or if you've got any requests for future tutorials. I actually just recently had someone request that I make this tutorial, so I do listen to what people ask for. I do read the comments, and I'm always really happy to hear from you. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll catch you in the next video.